Sustaining value. Why are we talking about sustaining value? One word, moat. This term was popularized by Warren Buffett when he described companies which had the potential to durably dominate a market. Our messages also need to have sustaining value to durably dominate a market. What does sustaining value mean? Well, our messaging needs to identify a gap and claim a space, a defensible hill or mountain, if you will. This is not some better, faster, ultra, super duper, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious kind of like widget better than. You need a message that no one else can touch, a sustainable, durable position that your company alone owns and clearly defines your value. And the secret sauce to make that happen? R&D and IP. Welcome to the Message Engineer Roadmap, episode number 8, Sustaining Value. I am Maureen Schaefer. Thank you for joining us today. And thank you in advance for your likes, shares, follows, saves, and subscribes. We greatly appreciate it. Quick recap. In episode number 7, Stakeholder Interviews of the Engineer Roadmap, we conducted interviews with a thoughtful stakeholder sample. We validated, tweaked, and/or culled our previous data and assumptions, resulting in a robust, real-time, clinically valid messaging analysis. We've looked at patterns and ideas. They've been identified and/or they're starting to emerge. Now, let's dive in. 3 key areas for sustaining value. Now it's time to derive the durable, defensible message that can sustain value and dominate the market for years. Think Just Do It by Nike or Built Ford Tough. Step 1. Sit down with the R&D, technical, product development folks and ask them, even if you are part of the design since conception, why they designed every aspect of the product or service the way they did. Ask them about every attribute. Ask them to share the testing fixtures, testing methodologies, which they use. This will help elucidate some of the key novel areas. Step 2, sit down with the person in your organization responsible for intellectual property or IP. Talk to them about patents issued and pending, many trade secrets, which they may or may not share, copyrights, trademarks, and other IP around your offering. Ask them how it's novel. Have a conversation about how they differ from other competitive entrants. They will have done this research. And lastly, ask for their input. Share your message, where you're thinking it's headed, and ask them for their thoughts on it. Step 3. This step requires an iterative process, starting with analysis, and then requiring a reimagining of the space and competitive categories, and looping back to analysis, iterating, and so on. I suggest taking a few weeks to draw, share, discuss with key colleagues until the sustainable space, the defensible mountain, the durable moat, the sustaining value backed by R&D and IP that your offering can occupy becomes very clear. You'll know you have sustaining value when you can A, state the position in 1 or 2 key sentences. B, it's clear how it differentiates you from your competition or competitive categories. C, it resonates with a wide group, and this does not mean everyone, but it means the majority of folks. And D, it cannot be claimed now or in a year's time by your competition. That's it for episode 8, Sustaining Value of the Message Engineer Roadmap. Thanks so much for listening today. Stay in touch by liking, sharing, following, sharing, subscribing, and saving, and commenting to let us know your thoughts and opinions. We would love to hear it. Look for our next and last episode, number 9, on clear, compelling, and competitive message. We'll see you next time on Message Engineer.